back here at the Precious Metals Summit in Zurich. I'm here with the President and CEO of Banyan Gold, Terry Christie. It's a pleasure to talk with you in person.
Thanks for having me back.
It's been a year since we last met. There's been some big upgrades to your resource. But before we talk about that, I want to go back to about 2020 when I first learned about Banyan. The company had just put out its first resource. It was under 1 million ounces of gold.
Yeah.
So where are we at today? What's the size of this deposit in the Yukon?
We're now at 6.2 million ounces. So when we talked last year, we were still at 4 million. That was our second resource that we put out in 2022. And then we drilled another 50,000 meters and came out with 6.2 this spring. And since then, we've drilled another 25,000 meters. We haven't updated the resource yet. We're not in a rush to do that, but we know we can continue to add ounces here. So it's pretty exciting.
It doesn't seem to be very difficult to add ounces. So what is it about this deposit that continues to grow? What is it? What are the constraints and what potential is there? This is a world-class, tier one kind of an asset.
Absolutely. Being over 5 million ounces was a really important threshold for us and one of our main goals for putting out our resource this year. And of course, we achieved that. Have we found the edges yet? No. We did look for some this year. That was part of the goal. We got to start thinking about where you're going to put infrastructure. Once you get to that scale, you do need to take some big step outs and think, how would you actually develop this project? But meanwhile, we've continued to add ounces. We connected Oryx Hill and Powerline. People asked us about that, and we simply just hadn't got to drilling it yet. And it was kind of on a hill, so it's better to drill at a specific time of year. So now we know that that's going to add ounces. We've added more at Oryx Hill. We know there's still lots of ounces to add both to the east and to the south, and some to the north and at Airstrip. But Powerline's really been the most exciting deposit, so it's really been our focus.
So this comprises of this total resource base is out of 3 deposits?
3 deposits, yeah.
And Powerline is, they said, is where the primary...
it's 3.8 million of that. And it was our brand new discovery in 2019. We made the new discovery. And that's an exciting thing about this project as well, is it's not something that's been sitting around with a resource and somebody came and drilled it again. And this is a brand new discovery.
Congratulations, and it's been quite the discovery. If we look at the resource, the 6+ million ounces, what is the average? What's the cutoff grade? What do the grades look like?
Sure, we picked a cutoff grade of 0.25, 0.3, which gave us 6.2 million ounces of 0.61. Very similar to the grade of Victoria Gold, a grade at that heap leach mine just down the road, 0.63 life of mine. But if you look at our sensitivity charts, if we'd have picked a 0.5 cutoff, we would have had 4.5 million ounces at just under a gram, 0.95. So there are other ways to look at this deposit, and that's one of the things that we're focusing some of our technical work over the winter, is looking at the high grade, both from structural controls and where we know we might be able to drill off more higher grade, but also from an engineering perspective, because drilling off high grade where you're not going to mine it first, probably not the most helpful in a project. So taking an engineering eye and saying, okay, where are you going to mine first? And that's really going to help guide our work when we get back to drilling.
So you haven't determined yet next year's program, so you're waiting for the results to still come in from 2023's program, is that correct?
We have a lot of news flow coming. We have drill results. I'm realistic in this market. Drill results aren't what they were in other markets, especially before Christmas. I think after Christmas it might be different. We have the results of our network. We committed to come up with flow sheets which shows potential economic methods to recover that, or to recover the gold. And I think it was important that we demonstrate that there's optionality. Previously people had looked at, it's only heap leach. Well, when you need to let the economics actually drive what a project is, and whomever's going to build it and can finance it. And that means looking at what the IRR is with different types of technology. So our first phase here is to show what processing techniques work, and we believe there will be very simple technology, tried and true methods, not refractory. So we've always been very clear that we think this is a very simple deposit to recover. But I think that gives us optionality for various parties that might be looking in this jurisdiction at what's available and maybe acquirers.
And there's a lot of activity in this jurisdiction, right? There's a lot of investment going into the Yukon, and what do you see right now, interest from majors? Obviously this is something that would appeal to a very large gold miner
Well, I think the whole jurisdiction's been de-risked with Victoria Gold. Yes, there's been some challenges in that, but they permitted and they built a mine in the modern day, and it is producing. The metallurgy's working, which is super important. We've had new discoveries like Snowline, which is the same intrusion-related gold as we have. Sitka as well. And people are like, why are you mentioning your competition? Well, this is a district. This is Canada's newest district, very similar to the Golden Triangle and Red Lake. You have a discovery, you get a mine built, and then you get more discoveries. And that's really what draws attention. Once you can say, hey, there's a 20 million ounce camp here, that really does become exciting in a permittable jurisdiction where, we've got geopolitical certainty. That's also pretty rare these days.
That is, and that's a primary concern of many. It's a primary concern of most CEOs. They haven't seen this in decades. So where are you right now, the deposit? Let's talk about maybe the geology of it.
Sure.
So it's near surface.
Yep.
What kind of geological structure? How are you finding this gold?
So it's an intrusion-related deposit, but we are actually in the meta-sediments that are likely above it or around it. So, key difference with Snowline and Victoria Gold is, Victoria is mining and intrusive, and it's a sheeted vein system. We have these sheeted veins, the same as them, lots of visible gold, and they're roughly horizontal, which is a bit unique, and remarkably consistent across almost 5 kilometers, which is a very large deposit. And so yeah, it's the same sheeted vein system. It's just we haven't found the actual intrusive source yet.
So there's a lot of work and potential to grow. You said you haven't found the outer limits. So what is the size of this project, and what these 3 deposits, if you give us a little positioning, how do they position? How far apart are they?
So Oryx Hill and Powerline, we have connected with the drilling. So they're separate deposits in the resource, but the drilling that we did, and there was roughly 500 meters in between the 2 of them that wasn't in the resource. We've now connected that. Okay. We continue to expand it. How big it is, I don't have a crystal ball. I believe there's potential for there to grow to 8 million ounces, potentially beyond that. You look across the way and you look at what Victoria Gold just discovered at Raven and that high grade. I think it's just the start of what's going to be discovered in this belt overall.
Very exciting. So you have a lot of property to focus on there. What is the size of land package?
So our total land package is 300 square kilometers. AURMAC itself is 173, but then off to the west we have that large, what we call Nitra property, just south of Victoria Gold. And Victoria Gold just purchased the Gold Dome property from Golden Predator, which is right adjacent to our claims, and it's a known intrusive gold property, so I'm excited to see what they do there. That will be good for us as well. There's lots of historic placer mining on our Nitra property, which is a great indicator of gold, as well as some intrusions on surface. We haven't made a discovery there yet, but we do have some soil anomalies, and this year we finally got out and collected some rocks and soils. We've been so focused on adding ounces at AURMAC, we really hadn't spent any time out doing regional exploration. So this was the first time our team got to get out there, so we'll have those results as we go into 2024 as well.
Excellent. So looking ahead in 2024, the company seems to be in a good financial position. You are not at a lot of companies here looking to raise capital. Banyan isn't in that position right now.
Yeah, we're here talking to our shareholders and getting some feedback too. What do people think that we should do? It's always good to check what you're planning to do. We have a strong treasury with $8 million in the bank. That gives us lots of options. We're exploring those options and doing some technical work. We actually have time to think through, what could we do? What milestones how would that add shareholder value? What are our odds of success? And then, we can wait until the new year to announce what we're going to do. But shareholders can rest assured that as a big shareholder myself, I'm a 4% shareholder, which I've purchased in the market. I care about adding value for our shareholders, and so very focused on how we're going to do that in 2024.
Well, love to hear that. Obviously, if you are invested in it, you have a lot more interest. I always talk to investors about finding companies where the management is invested, or else it's just usually typically don't get the same results. So that's very positive here. We're really looking forward to your 2024 plans, so we'll keep an eye on that, and it's a couple months away. and looking forward to what kind of program develops for 2024 and watching the deposit really grow into an incredible. I mean, it's already at 6+ million ounces. This is quite the discovery, and I think the story still isn't quite told or understood. I mean, 2020 heard about it was under 1 million ounces. So what an amazing last few years.
Thank you. Well, our team continues to be very driven. We are very focused on results and moving this project forward, de-risking it. So look for us to continue to do that in 2024.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you for your time today, and look forward to following up.
Thank you.